one of the darkest periods of my life as an entrepreneur, and really just in my personal life as well, because it just spilled over so intensely, is when I took a massive risk to go from great to epic. So I don't know if you know this or not, but SYNDUIT was originally a marketing agency. We were kind of like an early influencer agency before there was a term influencer. And we had a really strong client base of speakers, authors, trainers, gurus in personal development, athletes, comedians, dancers. It was kind of a remarkable group that we were serving, and we were their marketers. And they didn't have influence yet. There wasn't even an Instagram out there or anything of that nature. There was just Facebook at that time. And we would build their brand, and we'd build awareness for them, and we would get them press. And this was a very lucrative and viable business. We had a great team, extraordinary client list. We were great at what we did, so we didn't have to do any marketing for ourselves. Everything was inbound referral. And I remember one day thinking to myself, my stepfather, who's one of my closest friends, he can't truly afford what we do, although I'm giving him those services, but he needs what we do. And it wasn't that he couldn't afford it economically, he couldn't justify it. But he's a chiropractor in a small town in New Jersey. And he couldn't justify spending $5, $10, $15, $20,000 a month on marketing agency services. Because even if he paid that fee, there was no way that he could handle the number of new patients he would need on a monthly basis to just justify it. And as I was sitting there thinking to myself, I said, okay, who do I want to serve more? The person who's already extraordinarily wealthy, or the up-and-comer, the small business owner who's trying to make ends meet? And I realized that if I'm going to truly change the world, I have to find some way to take what we're doing at $10, $15, $20,000 a month and make it accessible to millions of small business owners for only $49. And as I started going through this process that seemed completely inconceivable and also impossible, I realized the only way to get there was to build a software solution that I would call a virtual marketing department. But I'm non-technical. I know how to write marketing copy. I really know how to sell. I know how to run a successful and viable agency. Pivoting that into a SaaS platform, I didn't even know where to start. So I started asking some of my friends that were already in the software industry, and I said, where should someone like me go with an idea like this? And they said, you need to hire a software development firm that specializes in MarTech. There's one in Boston. They're by far the best. We've worked with them before. Let us introduce you to their founder. You're going to want to meet with him. It's a big firm, and you just want to get to know him so you understand their culture and how they work. So I met with the founder. We really hit it off. Incredibly impressive organization. He said, here's how we roll. There's a $25,000 fee to engage with us, and the use of that capital is we will assign a product manager to work directly with you for 2 months and make sure that over those 2 months that you have ample time, because it's going to require a ton of you. And what they're going to do during that time frame is extract every detail of your vision. They're going to put it into a statement of work. They're then going to write user stories. They're going to size the user stories. They're going to price the user stories. And you're going to know exactly how much time and money it will take to build every feature of what you're calling a virtual marketing department. Once we complete the statement of work process, we deeply encourage you to shop it around to at least 5 other software vendors just to make sure that we are the right fit. And if we end up being the right fit, what we'll do is we will take that $25,000, roll it into the first month, we'll be off to the races. But what I want to do for you, because I really believe in what you're looking to accomplish, is I want to waive that fee. But I still want you to go out and shop it around. Do the exercise. I don't necessarily want you just to jump right in with us, so still go through that process, but I want to do it for free. I want to lay a foundation for your success. Extremely gracious offer. I went through the process. At the end of those 2 months, I couldn't fathom going anywhere else. I mean, they just knew too much. And even though it was really well documented and really well organized, the thought of having to re-explain or regurgitate this to something other than them felt exhausting. So I set a conversation with this founder, and I said, I don't know if this was your grand scheme, but you are hired. What is it going to take? And he said 10 months and $750,000 to build the first version of the vision. And my challenge at that time was I was relatively young, and I was also economically in a pretty positive state. I had an exit right when I graduated college, and that marketing agency was pretty lucrative. So I figured I'm just going to self-fund this venture. So I did. And the 10 months and $750 ended up turning into over 2 years and over $2 million. And then at the point of launching, I learned a term that I did not know then, I will now never forget. And what the term is called technical debt. And what that means is the engineers cut so many corners along that journey that it was almost inevitable the platform will implode. It just comes down to when. And my when was unfortunately a launch. And I remember what happened, thinking to myself, okay, I have to completely abandon this vision, or I have to abandon 2 years and $2 million and start over. And I could not fathom abandoning the vision. I just so knew there was a need in the market. I also knew how to get it to market, and I knew I was the right person to do it. And all that I could think about was my stepfather. And how small business owners like him were in desperate need of the services that our agency offered, but they just couldn't justify the expense. I also was already all in. I went from great on this journey to epic, and I had to cross this chasm called potential. And I was not about to fail as I was crossing this chasm. So I did this exercise. I said, okay, there's a universal law in life which states, whenever you lose something, personally or professionally, you will always gain more than you lose. The key, and this is the lesson for you, the key is stop focusing on the loss and look towards the gain. So I remember when I had this realization, I literally shifted my body and I said, okay, what will I gain as a result of losing 2 years and $2 million? And in that moment, what came to me has become the catalyst for the rest of my career, which was the awareness and the understanding that you can't outsource software development at that early stage. So what does it mean for you? I am sure you've had your fair share of losses, economic losses. Maybe there's people in your family you've lost. Maybe there's friends that you've lost. Maybe there's time that you've lost. And in every one of those losses, if you take the time to assess it, what you're going to realize is the moment you stop focusing on the loss and look towards the gain is where you gain from your loss.